Alright, the first thing today we're going to talk about is arc measure. We are going to define what an arc actually is, learn how to identify arcs, whether they be minor, major, or semicircles. We're going to define what a central angle is, and then we're going to practice finding measures of arcs. So an arc is actually part of the circumference of a circle. It's a piece of the circumference. When we measure circumference, we would measure from point B all the way back to point B, the whole circle. When we talk about an arc, we're just talking about the part. So in this picture right here, this is arc AB. I would name it by listing the two endpoints and then put the arc symbol on top of this. This reads as arc AB. Oh, and also the measure of an arc is always in degrees. We would write this as M. The AB with the arc symbol is 63 degrees. So this guy here reads as arc AB. It helps me identify it. This guy here reads as the measurement of arc AB, which is equal to 63 degrees. So the measurements of arcs are always in degrees. There are special ways to identify arcs. We can identify minor arcs, which are smaller than a half a circle. A semicircle is a half a circle, meaning it's 180 degrees exactly, because we know there's 360 degrees in a circle. So a semicircle would be half of that, 180. Then we have major arcs, which are larger than a semicircle. A half a circle are larger than 180s. So minor arcs are less than 180. Semicircles are equal to 180 degrees. And major arcs are greater than 180 degrees. So let's practice naming minor arcs. So when we name minor arcs, we have to use two letters. So you choose an endpoint and the two endpoints, and then you put the symbol on the top of the arc. Okay, so one of the minor arcs in this picture would be arc AD. So I would write the two endpoints and then put the arc symbol on top. Another minor arc in this problem, in this picture, would be from A to C. It's also a minor arc. Okay, and then there's two more. There's arc CE, and then there's arc DE. Right, so endpoints, and then an arc on top. Talking about semicircles and major arcs, we name them a little bit differently. In these problems here, if it's a major or minor arc, we need three letters. Okay, and I'll explain to you why. So a semicircle is a half a circle. I see one from D to C. That is a semicircle. If I just name arc D and C, I wouldn't know which arc you're talking about. It could go D to C, okay, to the top part and the green part, or arc DC could also be this way in the blue part. I'm unsure of which one you're talking about when you just say arc DC. Therefore, we need a third letter to tell the directions. So we have arc DAC would be the green guy, and then arc DEC would be the blue guy. So it's important that we use three letters when it's a semicircle or a major arc. Only minor arcs use two letters. There's also two other semicircles in this picture. We have from A to E is half circles. One of them, right, would be ACE, and the other one would be ADE. So again, we're still using the two endpoints for each guy, but this middle letter tells me the direction. Am I going right of the endpoint or left of the endpoint? So next up is major arcs, which are greater than a semicircle. There's so many major arcs in this problem, okay? If we want it to contain point A. So we know it has to include point A, the major arc that contains point A. It can't just be arc ACE because that is a semicircle. But we could go A through C through E to D. That is for sure an arc that is larger than a semicircle. You're still only using 3 letters, not 4. It passes through 4, but we're not going to use 4. We can name this as arc A, C, D, or A, E, D. These are the same arc, okay? We don't use 4 letters. We know that the endpoints are A and D, and we know that it passes through point C and passes through point E. Okay, if you read the first one, if it goes, endpoints are A to D, and it passes through C, it has to pass through E to get to D. So these are naming the same exact arcs. It doesn't matter which one you choose. There's several other major arcs with point A. I'm going to move on. We also want to look at major arcs that contain point E. Okay, we can call arc C, E, A a major arc. Okay, so I can call this C, E, A or C, D, A. Okay, the order of the endpoints don't matter, but that middle letter can't move. So I can call this also A, E, C. Okay, and usually we stick to this part because we usually strive for closest alphabetical ordering, right? It makes more sense to start with A than it starts with C, but really there's no difference between these two. Okay, so long story short, a minor arc is less than a semicircle, it's smaller than a half a circle, it's less than 180 degrees. A semicircle is equal to 180 degrees, and a major arc is greater than 180 degrees. A central angle. It's an angle whose vertex is at the center of the circle. So in these circles below, O is the center. Okay? This is not a central angle. The vertex of this angle is not on the center. This is also not a central angle. This one here is. This is the center of the circle. We draw the angle. It touches the outside of the circle, and the endpoints of the angle are on the circle. The vertex is on the center. This is what we call a central angle right here. The measurement of a central angle directly relates to the measurement of an arc. Okay. Central angles, okay, we can name them. We know that the angle symbol would go first, and then we need the vertex in the middle. So this would be angle BAC. And this is what we call a central angle because the vertex is in the center of the circle. Okay, if we know this measurement here, we know this measurement here. They are the same. Okay. So again, I emphasize, this is angle. AQB is a central angle. Okay. The measurement of angle AQB is 60 degrees. The measurement of that angle is 60 degrees. If we draw this out and then connect these parts, the arc that it matches up with is also going to be 60 degrees. So the measurement of arc AB is also 60 degrees. So if I know this angle, I know the measurement of this arc here. And let's go back for a minute. If we know that this is 60 degrees, right? I'm going to actually do something else here. If we know this is 60 degrees, can we find the measurement of angle of arc ACB, meaning the major arc? Well, we know there's 360 degrees in a circle, and if this part is taking up 60, if we just do 360 minus 60, we get the measurement of this arc, and it's in degrees, 300 degrees. All right, so let's practice finding the measurements of arcs. Arc BC, right, is matching up with the central angle, angle BOC. So if this is 32 here, this would also have to be 32 degrees because they're the same. Arc BD, okay, arc BD goes from, let's make this a little bit smaller, from here to here. Okay, these are what we call adjacent arcs, meaning that they're next to each other. We can just add their measurements. 32 plus 58. Therefore, this would have to be 90 degrees. So the measurement from here, from B to D, is 90 degrees. And I knew it was the minor arc. It didn't connect from here to here because it only used 2 letters. Arc ABC, so that would be from, let's change the color here, from arc A to C, those are the 2 endpoints, and it tells me it goes through point B, so I know it has to go from here to here. It would not be the other way around. You should notice that line segment AC has 2 endpoints on the circle and contains the center. Therefore, AC is a diameter, meaning it's cutting that circle in half. So therefore, this would have to be a semicircle, which is 180 degrees. And that's because line segment AC is a diameter. It's cutting that circle in half. It's creating 2 semicircles, semicircle ABC and semicircle ADC. Okay, this is a semicircle. These would both be minor arcs up here. And then lastly, we want to find the measurement of arc AB. So arc AB, let's do this one in green, is from here. These are the endpoints. We know we're not going to the right of A because it's a minor arc. There's only 2 letters. So we would go from here to here. Well, we already talked about how BC is 32 degrees, and we know that this whole purple arc is worth 180. So to find AB, we would subtract. So 180 minus 32 equals 148 degrees. This is still a minor arc because it's less than 180 degrees. It's smaller than a semicircle. So this would be 148 because these would have to add up to 180 degrees. Alright, so now I'd like you to pause this video and take some time to find the measurements of these guys. And then we'll go from there. Notice that an angle is talking about angle COD, is talking about a central angle. And when we have the arc symbol, it's talking about an arc. So pause the video, get to work, and on pause when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so the measurement of angle COD would have to be the same as the arc because they match up. So this would be 58. The measurement of arc CDA is a semicircle. It would have to be 180. The measurement of arc AD would be 180 minus 58, which is the same as 122 degrees. And the measurement of arc BAD would be 270 degrees because arc BAD, these are my endpoints, B and D, tells me to go through A. So we're talking about a major arc here. We know 32 and 58 have already have that taken up. 32 plus 58 would be 90. So from here to here is 90 degrees. Which means from here to here would have to be 270 because in a circle there's 360 degrees. We subtract 90 from that guy and we get 270. And that is it on arc measurement.